Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. This is the Liverpool Development Watch. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Ben. My job is to bring you an update on the loanees and the U18s within Liverpool Football Club. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about how Naby Keita tore Bayern Munich a brand new arsehole and also a massive win for Liverpool U18s and Steven Gerrard. But we're going to start this week with Divock Origi, who unsurprisingly was dropped from the Wolfsburg starting 11 after he was subbed off last week in the first half. After that humiliation, it was absolutely no surprise that he was on the bench this week. He made a little difference. He came on with about 2 minutes to go, just as they were throwing everything. He made little difference to them, really. They still got beat 1-0 at home to Schalke. As I say, as they were going for the point at the end, he was thrown on in some hope that he would perhaps steal a last-minute equaliser, and he didn't. And they lost all 3 points in the end. So it's difficult to see where he goes from here. It's difficult to see whether he will indeed get many more minutes on the pitch at Wolfsburg. If he's really not impressing at all, then it's difficult to see where he's going to get time as we go on this season. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, Marco Grujić's Cardiff had their game against Derby cancelled because of the snow at the weekend, but he played 90 minutes versus Brentford in the midweek games last week, so we'll talk about a week ago now at Griffin Park. And actually, did you know that Griffin Park is the only English stadium in the country to have a pub on all four corners? There you go. Now you know. He tried to do too much with the ball in a silly area in midfield. A bit like Emre Can does, I think, sometimes for Liverpool, but he had too many men on him, got dispossessed. Brentford broke down the field and scored, went 1-0 up. Fortunately for him and fortunately for the team, they came back and won 3-1. And actually, Neil Warnock commented after the game that he feels that was a real wake-up call for him with the competitiveness of the Championship, and it'll be a real big learning curve for him, and completely agree. It'll be one of those where he's now beginning to realise how little time he has on the ball in competitive situations like that. So it's probably a good experience overall, given that the team won the game. Ovie Ejaria was yet again the shining light of hope in another dreadful home performance for Sunderland. They're going down. No question about it. Sorry, Sunderland fans. He was subbed with 15 minutes to go, but he had a really good game according to SofaScore. I haven't seen the highlights. I can't see the highlights of every single game. But judging on his rating, judging on a few of his stats, he had a decent game. The best of a bad bunch, basically. Harry Wilson didn't score at the weekend, but grabbed yet another goal last week in the midweek games for Hull City versus Ipswich in a 3-0 win. It's looking like he's really settled there nicely, and he's adapted to that level now, which is really promising stuff. That's 3 goals in 6 Championship games for him now, which you can't argue with that as a striker. If you're getting a goal every 2 games, as a young striker, I think that's really good form, and the way he's settled in, like I say, is really promising. Hopefully he can continue to adapt to even higher levels as he goes on through his career. John Flanagan was man of the match and going to the Championship's Team of the Week this week as Bolton beat Aston Villa 1-0 at home. I've got a mate who's a Bolton fan, and he's kind of keeping me up to date with how John Flanagan's doing. Obviously, he watches the full 90, whereas I can only just watch the highlights. John Flanagan was absolutely excellent. You could see it in the highlights, and my friend commented on it, having seen the full game. It was a huge win for the relegation candidates. They are struggling at the bottom of the Championship. They've only just come up this season, so naturally they would be fighting relegation. But yeah, it was a massive win to beat Aston Villa, even if it was at home. Flanagan was really good. He was really good at the back. He was really good going forward, and he made a real crucial block at 1-0 in the second half to essentially help secure the points for the Trotters. So yeah, really good pieces of defending from him. Really bright to see him starting for Bolton, playing well for Bolton, and getting into the Championship Team of the Week is never something to be sniffed at. Naby Keita ran the show again for RB Leipzig as they came behind to beat Bayern Munich 2-1. My God, he was so good. Honestly, he was so good. He completely ran the midfield. Bayern have such a talented side, and he was the best player on that pitch by a mile. His link-up with Timo Werner is something special, and I think that if we can go and get Timo Werner this summer as well, we are going to be a real force with Naby Keita and Timo Werner in our side. Jesus Christ, he was so good. Like, honestly, if you just watch the highlights, go on YouTube. It's one of the first things that come up if you type in Leipzig 2, Bayern 1. It's like the top one. He just runs it. The first goal, he gets the equaliser and the assist for the second goal. The equaliser, he's alive. It comes to him from a rebound. I think it's Werner with the initial shot that's saved, and he's alive to it and pokes it in for 1-1 in the first half. He then sets up Werner for the second goal. Good finish from him. But honestly, just the whole game, the way he has the ball at his feet, and he just seems to have a picture of everything that's going on. Absolutely fantastic. I've said it before, and I've said it again. A whole new level he's going to take us to when he arrives. Our midfield is going to go up a level. And I honestly think that the way he is and the way he performs will drag everybody else in our midfield up a level as well. They will want to match him, and that will, in general, raise the whole performance of the team. I'm so excited to have him in a Liverpool shirt. It's 103 days until Naby Keita pulls on a Liverpool shirt. We are close to 2 figures, which means we are getting ever closer. I am so excited. So yeah, that's your Keita countdown for this week, ladies and gentlemen. 103 days until Naby Keita pulls on a Liverpool shirt. No Liverpool under-23s game this week, but Liverpool under-18s got a tremendous result at home to Middlesbrough on Saturday, as they seem to be getting back to their true winning ways of earlier on in the season. Given that there was no under-23 games, a lot of regular under-18s that have been featuring for Gerrard for a lot of this season, they came back and joined up with the squad and had a big hand, really, in the win. The scoring was opened by an absolute dream goal from Rafa Camacho. Now, I brought you a prospect report a couple of weeks ago on this fella. He scored a great goal versus Man United in the UEFA Youth League, if you remember that a few weeks back. Again, another absolutely fantastic effort. Rather Philip Coutinho-esque in terms of cutting it inside around the box, and he goes to bend it. And to be honest, when you watch it, it looks as if it's going into the top left-hand corner from our perspective. VAR. It looks like it's going in the top left. It looks like it's going in the top left corner, but it actually bends and goes into the top right corner. It's got a hell of an amount of whip on the ball. But yeah, really good finish. And then another good finish from Adam Lewis, the left back, had us 2-0 up at half time. And to be honest, overall, the scoreline was probably a little bit harsh on Middlesbrough, particularly in the first half. They had their chances that they could have taken. Some really good defending. They had one attempt that was blocked on the line. I can't quite remember who it was, but they had chances that they could have taken, and perhaps there had been a little bit more in the game at half time. But we were absolutely clinical in the second half. There was a bit of comical defending from a corner. If you go online and watch these highlights for the third goal, Curtis Jones got 2 goals for his first goal. I don't know how it gets through. It's whipped in by Adam Lewis, and it comes right across the 6-yard box, and Curtis Jones, thank you very much, taps it in, 3-0, and then we're well on our way to getting a hatful of goals. His second goal, by the way. Now, I know I keep banging about Curtis Jones, but I cannot hype this guy up enough. Talk about Mo Salah's goal at the weekend against Watford, the whole shimmy, slide to the left, slide to the right, that third goal he got. Honestly, Curtis, this was Mo Salah-esque. He bursts through midfield with the ball, gets himself into the penalty area, and he takes these defenders for a ride before bending it into the top corner. It's an absolutely dream goal from Curtis Jones. He is too good for that level, and I think it's becoming apparent that a lot of the players in that side are too good for that level, and that's why they are playing in the under-23s at every opportunity that they can. That's why they are training with the first team whenever they can, because they are good enough to be doing that. And I am confident that a lot of these under-18s players will get first team minutes for Liverpool in the future, whether it be next season or beyond, because some of them are just too talented to miss out. Next up for them is an away clash with Manchester City next Wednesday. I don't know about you guys, but I say we go and greet the bus. And next up for Neil Critch's under-23s is a trip to Middlesbrough this evening, so good luck with that one, lads. Let's do a prospect report then. Let's do a man who started on Saturday but didn't actually score in the 6-0 win over Middlesbrough. Striker Glenn McAuley. Now, a few may have heard of him. He is part of this group that's been playing for the under-23s on occasion since the January window. I've seen Glenn play quite a few times this season. Mainly for me, he's been coming off the bench because he doesn't tend to start in the UEFA Youth League games when I go. I think it's just because we've got players like Ben Woodburn and Liam Miller tend to start up front as the striker. He comes on and gets his minutes that way. However, he has been getting lots of starts in the under-18s Premier League. So here we go then. Glenn McAuley. He was born in Dublin, Ireland. He's been at Liverpool since 2015-16. He's been Republic of Ireland under-17 international. This season he's got 22 appearances in all competitions with 11 starts, 9 goals, and he is knocking on the door of the under-23s team, like I said. No, he's a really good player. He's a clinical finisher. Tends to operate a lot inside the penalty area. A lot of his goals come from in there. Bit of a poacher, really. And I think, yeah, he's a really promising prospect. Hopefully he'll be getting a little bit more time for the under-23s as we go on this season. It'd be good to see how he adapts to that level again. Like a lot of the under-18s have. They seem to have made the step up. I'm not quite so sure about Glenn McAuley and whether he has quite got himself used to the pace of that game yet, but we'll wait and see as he gets more minutes on the pitch, I suppose. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the Development Watch this week. Thank you very, very much for watching. I will be back on Monday, the 2nd of April. Yeah, 2nd of April, because it's international break next week, so there's no real point in doing a show like this. Everybody's out all over the place. Not really worth it. Do the usual stuff, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at bkelly776, leave a comment with what you thought of the show below. And yeah, I'll see you on April the 2nd ahead of that huge clash with Manchester City in the Champions League. I'm so, so excited. Until then, bye-bye.